Meghan and Harry were charged with breaking protocol. How egregious were Sussex's actions? Welcome back to my channel tonight, and hello. Meghan isn't to blame for this because she doesn't know any better, and Harry is solely to blame. Harry is aware of this ceremony's solemnity and royal etiquette. As the fifth in line, he ought to know better. He ought to have been appreciative of being able to walk alongside the senior royals and ought to have done so. And to those who argue in favor, what about them? The hand-holding is not the problem. The question is why the two slanderous jerks are permitted to attend such a somber event. They appear to be celebrating their employment. Yes, I hold the toxic duo responsible for Her Majesty's accelerated demise through stress. Imagine insulting a 96-year-old and tormenting her with the phrase, "I could say more." No non-disclosure agreement was signed by me. Such of us who adored the Queen should not have those terrible things be thrust in our faces. I take offense. As usual, these two traitors have the arrogance and gall to do whatever to keep the spotlight and attention on them. As soon as I believe they have reached their lowest point, they disprove my assumption. Every damn time. Markle is not needed there at all. She doesn't belong there. Actually, neither of them should. I can somewhat understand why Just H is, but I still have no idea why she is, in light of what she has said and done. I'm tired of their constant nonsense taking up the news headlines. Their constant clutching of hands is unsettling. I realize that holding hands is a symbol of affection and love, but that happens constantly. It happens so frequently that it's strange. They really do hold hands when eating, taking a shower, and going to the restroom. One of them clearly struggles with abandonment issues. It gives off a weird, weak, and clinging impression. They should have stayed home if they couldn't walk without grasping for each other like they were in the grip of death. Harry should at least be aware that Meghan can't even stand on her own while professing to be such a feminist. A feminist who gave up her own name to adopt her husband's. And action was taken to demonstrate ownership. I don't have an issue with individuals changing their names, but if you're going to tell everyone that you're a radical feminist, don't do this. Find out their names first. They are Mike Tyndall and Zara Phillips. She is the 20th person in line and is referred to as Mrs. Michael Tyndall. She is not a working royal. Instead, she is a private individual without a title, in contrast to Harry, Duke of Sussex, who was following the King and the Prince of Wales. It made no difference if they held hands because they were not a part of the main procession, in contrast to Meghan and Harry, who acted disrespectfully. Zara is the Queen's granddaughter because she is Princess Anne's daughter. She is an Olympian, just like her mother Anne, and won a silver medal in the 2012 equestrian competition. She is accompanied by her husband, Mike Tyndall, a well-known rugby player who played for the English squad that won the World Cup. Since Zara and her brother Peter have a solid repute for being sensible, down-to-earth individuals, Anne did not want her children to acquire titles. Personally, I believe Harry and Meghan should have been restricted to attending the funeral rather than all of these public events. They shouldn't have expected to participate in everything after their violent and unpleasant split from the royal family, the funeral alone. They may have privately visited the Queen and grieved. It's all the talk in the media now that they've been made public. It's disgusting. And by permitting the Sussexes to participate, the royal family is only providing the Sussexes more fodder. Harry has already started griping about his attire. Why on earth were they in London when Her Majesty passed away? How different would things have been if they had been in the United States? It's obvious that Meghan gets what she wants. She would be seriously insulting the people of Great Britain and the Commonwealth, as well as Harry's grandmother, the King and his consort, the Prince and Princess of Wales, if she wanted Harry to cling to her hand. For crying out loud, this has no justification. For the love of God, get them a hotel room if they can't control their want to touch. She makes ripples on purpose to spice up the situation. Anyone with a degree of intelligence she claims to possess in the situation would know right away that PDA is insulting, distasteful, and unsuitable on such a somber occasion. She made sure to draw attention to herself because she was speaking to a global audience in this instance. And since the goal is to draw in as many people as possible, both good and poor attention can be equally fulfilling. Meghan enjoys deviating from the norm on a regular basis in both tiny and significant ways. She feels at home right now amid all the fanfare and protocol. She tries to act like a teen even though she is a senior and everyone else is acting with dignity. She has been caught sticking her tongue out how many times? She acts inappropriately like a naughty child because she wants to be seen and spoken about. Not that I disagree with everything you've stated, and I would have loved to have the duo thrown in the tower, but at least now that the king's son is involved, the royal family, and I don't consider them part of it, has as much influence as they can muster over the matter. With their inclusion in their proper roles, it is obvious that they are in charge of the narrative and are severing her off at the knees when she makes claims or accusations of racism or any other kind of nonsense. Additionally, the fact that the entire event is televised live and uncut throughout the world makes it difficult for them to sell their film. I'd venture to say that hidden microphones are being looked for or otherwise restricted. The royal family is once again demonstrating their superiority over these couple of scumbag imbeciles from the gutter. I disagree, though, that Meg should bear no responsibility for this flagrant violation of policy. Even before she married Harry, she received more than enough instruction and assistance in this area. Just being told what she could and couldn't do bothered her. She didn't hold Harry's hand from the beginning of this part of the event, which startled me. She has always behaved like an octopus, and her act has never in any way seemed to be an expression of love. Off topic, what if, according to the familial secrets that Harry has revealed to Meghan, Harry has known all along that he is a Hewitt and is resentful of the royal family for it? He is now daring them to reveal it, blackmail. Perhaps the family is on them and everything will be revealed after the funeral. However, they lack the intelligence to understand that if he is a Hewitt, he is not a king and as such has no titles and no wealth. He was raised in the best possible circumstances with love and elegance. It is demonstrated that the events he complained about never occurred. Does he really think a DNA test could be performed without making it public if there were any doubts about his parentage? Harry and the royal family will be the subject of much discussion below in the comments, as well as the couple as a whole. If you truly find this video to be helpful, please feel free to share it with anyone you think would enjoy it. Additionally, thank you for your continued support by clicking the button below to subscribe. I appreciate your time. Bye-bye. I'll see you tomorrow.